Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the ETM podcast. This week we are talking about gratitude. This November I'm trying to focus my content on gratitude. So be sure to check out the YouTube. We've got some gratitude meditations. We're going to do a little bit of a condensed video this week on some of the tidbits on gratitude that we share in this podcast. Just a condensed version. So if you want to go back, it'll all be there in a shorter video. But yeah, welcome to the podcast. This place is a safe space to get vulnerable, for people to share their personal stories when it comes to a spiritual or non-spiritual experience. And we get to listen to these stories and learn from people's personal growth and personal experience, and then take that and maybe implement some of that into our own lives to continue to grow and expand into the best version we can be. So today, yes, we are talking about gratitude. How can we tap into gratitude? How can we use gratitude to shift our reality, to manifest, to act as a bridge into the high vibe state when we are feeling down in the dumps or when we're feeling blue? And gratitude too, November, Thanksgiving, those of you who celebrate, it's a time to be thankful. It's a time to drop into gratitude and really allow gratitude to be a gateway into rest. This is a time of rest for a lot of us. Or, if you're on the other half of the world, you are jumping into spring and summer. So how can you use gratitude to come out of rest? So either going into or coming out of. And the affirmation that I'm working with this week is, I am grateful to be me. Let's take a deep breath together. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Repeating if you wish, I am grateful to be me. And that affirmation can show up for you however it needs to. And I invite you to maybe take a moment to really ponder that. Why are you grateful to be you? What are the things that make you grateful to be the exact version of you who you are? And, just allow that to sit with you. It's a really powerful statement. I am grateful to be me. So reclaim your power in that this week. And the self-care that I am working with this week is a balance between rest and work. So as you may notice, I am in a new space. I have been moving the past 2 weeks. It has been a lot. I'm a little sick. My throat is, sniffly. A lot of cleaning, a lot of deep cleaning, a lot of organizing and moving. And I started a new job as well. So this is all happening at once, and it's a lot. And I knew like a month ago, even on the podcast, I'm pretty sure I mentioned, I feel like it's coming and it's all gonna hit at once. And it sure did. But I am grateful that it has, and I'm grateful to be in this new space and grateful to be filming the first episode in this new room that I now call my studio. It gets to be good. And so I'm finding that balance between work and rest, because I can sometimes have no chill. And I can just keep going and going and going, and then I get sick. Or I break down and start to cry. And so trying to not, that already started to occur, as you can probably hear in my voice. So I'm trying to reel it back in and find that balance. And so today is a fun day. We are resting. I just went to the farmer's market, got some yummy goods, and taking it easy this morning, filming this, and then we get to go shopping, just thrifting for some little things that the house needs. So I'm super excited for that. And the symbol that came through this week is the limitless potential. And this is a Pleiadian code. And I absolutely love it because we've got like an X and a Y kind of graph look thing right here with this symbol. And if you're listening to this, I encourage you to go check out the symbol video that will be on YouTube. I just cut out these little snippets and I put it on YouTube in a video, so be sure to check it out. But yeah, the limitless potential card really comes in because when I grabbed it this morning, or when it came through, I was so excited because I love this card. The energy of this card is so good. And I was like, I asked Spirit and the symbol, I was like, how do you work with gratitude? And they said that it allows you to see the bigger picture. Because in every single moment, there is something to be grateful for. In every single moment, there is beauty. In every single moment, there is something that we can learn from and expand. And the Limitless Potential card helps you to see past the current doom and gloom cloud and tap into the bigger picture. And it opens up the space for you to then allow gratitude to come in, which then acts as a bridge and helps you move into just a higher state of being. And then as well, what also came through is that it assists with feeling. So feeling is very important when we're tapping into gratitude, but even limitless potential. And the symbol said that limitless potential is more so a state of being rather than a thing that exists or a thing that is tangible or that we have. It's more so a way of perceiving and a way of feeling than it is just a thing that exists. So in that, it allows us to feel that there is so much more than what we might be experiencing right now, which is interesting because the limitless potential allows us to anchor into the present moment with gratitude, but then it opens the space to see how that gratitude can then affect our future, which is really interesting because gratitude is definitely something that brings you into the present. However, when you are in the present, you are more attuned to creating an aligned future because we create from the present moment. Let me know if that makes sense. And then the crystal that came through with this card is amethyst. I love amethyst, and it's definitely one of my favorite stones. And amethyst is a healer. It brings through this softness, and again, with the limitless potential opening up the space for us to see, the amethyst comes through and does the same thing. It brings us into this kind of softness, this calmness that then allows us to see and visualize what is possible for us outside of, the present moment that might feel icky or sticky. So gratitude definitely has a very healing frequency to it, and so does amethyst. So I think that is definitely why it came through. So check out that symbol, check out the crystal, and I encourage you to just sit in silence with both and tap into the gratitude frequency. And before we dive super into the topic, let's talk about some housekeeping. So I have a new course that is all online. It's called How to Breathe Through the Holidays, a guide on how to breathe through the holidays. It goes through 5 lifelines: compassion, acceptance, forgiveness, gratitude, and groundedness. And these are 5 emotions or intellectual ways of being that have helped me really move through the holidays and sit in situations that might be uncomfortable, or to interact with people that we maybe would not interact with if it weren't the holidays. This is, for work parties, friend group gatherings, family gatherings, all of the things. And the holidays can be fun. However, it can be a really sad time of year for many. I've lost many family members in my life, and so the holidays for many years left me feeling really empty and left me feeling honestly really sad, because I felt I no longer was able to experience, my full family, or the people that were left in my family were not the people that necessarily understood me or I got along with well. And so it left me feeling, but the 5 lifelines really brought me back. And so we go through those, what they are, and we do some journal prompts, and then we do a meditation. And the meditation is specifically made for you to do as like an energetic maintenance practice before and after gatherings. So it's important that we are, I don't want to use the word protected, but we are just vibrating really nicely before we gather, so we have a strong energy field around us. And it's important to just kind of clear any icky feelings that maybe were presented or that came up during a gathering. So definitely check that out. There's a guidebook that goes through everything, and then I filmed the meditation and the video version separately, so you can watch it at your own time. That's on my website, available. It's $30. Enjoy the holidays and breathe through the holidays. I also have personal coaching. I brought back my personal coaching time slots, so definitely check out the website if you are interested in hopping on a personal call. These are for really anything. If you're just going through it, if you need someone to talk to, if you need some advice, or if you want to do some healing of any kind, whether that's light language, Reiki, during the session, we can totally do that. It's opening this floor for spirit to come through, and it's opening the floor for wisdom to be shared and healing to occur. So definitely check that out. But let's go ahead and dive in. So gratitude. I'm going to be looking at my notebook because I took a bunch of notes with spirit for you guys on the topic of gratitude. So there's 2 thoughts to consider when we are talking about gratitude. And these 2 thoughts are ideas. The first one is that everything is energy and everything has a frequency. So if everything around us is energy, and that energy holds a frequency, we can then consider that we're able to tap into those energies around us, which then shift our perspective and change our frequency, which then helps us to attract like frequencies and potentially change the world around us. Because if we are energy, we attract certain energies, and therefore our outside realities change. So that's the first idea. Everything's energy and frequency, and how can we play with that? The second idea is that we are a creator. If you haven't watched the How to Create Your Reality podcast, definitely check that out to get some more info on this. But we are a creator. Let's play with that idea. In every single moment, we have the we have the responsibility to choose how we respond and how we perceive what's happening. So we decide in every single moment. And with these 2 ideas, how can we then use the energy of gratitude to create a more positive response or reaction to the energy that's happening, to the experience, the situation that's playing out, and then have that perception, that reaction, that response shift the energy around you. So by using gratitude, you drop into the creator role, because you are taking responsibility that in this moment, I can either choose to be angry or upset or sad, or I can see the beauty in the situation and experience maybe those emotions in a higher vibrational state through gratitude, which then shifts the energy around you and you become the creator. So gratitude as an energy, I said earlier, it brings you into the present moment. Because oftentimes when a situation happens, let's say, I use this example a lot when it comes to gratitude of, I'm driving on the interstate or something and crap, I miss my exit shit, now I'm going to be like 20 minutes late to this thing that I was already late to, and now this car fucking swerved in front of me and all of this stuff. The road is a place where we can feel a lot of emotions. However, you decide how you respond. So you can either go into anger, flipping another car off, or just anger towards yourself for making that mistake. Or you can drop into, I am so grateful for my car. I am so grateful for, this experience. I am grateful that I am able to get to the place where I am going. Because the emotion of anger itself, it might lead to worry, which then you're worrying about the future moment of I'm going to arrive late and then everyone's going to look at me and my manager's going to be upset at me and blah, blah, blah. You start to feed your future with the current emotion that you're experiencing, which is fear, worry, anger. And when you can drop into gratitude, you come into the present moment of what's actually happening. And so you're no longer feeding the future at all. You're just feeding the present moment of, I'm grateful to be me. I'm grateful that I am driving. I'm grateful for the sky around me, blue skies. I'm grateful for the fields that I'm driving by. I'm grateful for my safety while I drive. When you drop into that, you drop into the present moment. And then while you're stating your gratitudes, you're actually bringing your frequency to a higher vibrational state, which then creates a more harmonious future, because we create in the present moment. And so you were once creating from fear and anger and emotion and worry, projecting that into your future in the present moment. And then gratitude, like I said, brings you into that higher vibrational state and allows you to create maybe a experience where your manager is completely understanding that you were late. You took the wrong exit. I'm sorry. Won't have it again. And they're like, yeah, no problem. Shit happens. It's life. So you create more harmonious futures for yourself when you drop into the present moment of gratitude. And ultimately, gratitude is just a way of finding the beauty in every single moment. It's an energy that keeps you aligned to your heart center and allows you to flow through life with more ease rather than resistance. And coming back to that car example, when we tense up and immediately go into worry or immediately go into self-shame, our bodies react in that way. Resistance occurs. We tense up. We start to become rigid, and we get this kind of all or nothing energy. I'm not sure how else to describe it with words, but it's this energy of shit, well, that's the only outcome. That's the only single outcome, is that I'm gonna get to work, my manager's gonna scream at me, and I'm gonna mess everything up. And when we feed into that experience, we are feeding a definite, where gratitude keeps it open and limitless potential. I'm now seeing it really is cohesive with the gratitude state, because it opens things up, it keeps you fluid, and it allows you to take that step forward, where the other emotion it stops you in your journey path. It just stops you, and you aren't really moving because of the tense reaction, whereas gratitude allows you to keep walking forward. And that's a good segue into a personal story where gratitude really helped me to experience grief in a higher vibrational state than I would have without gratitude. So I was in a relationship, and this was kind of like, how would you describe it? Like a forever now person. I've heard that word, and I think that really describes the energy. It was like a relationship where we really it fell into haste and fell out of with haste, fell into with haste and without with haste. And it was kind of that, like, just, oh my gosh, this person is like just a hint of spiritual, and they treat me kind, and they're great, and so this is going to be amazing. But it was definitely a karmic relationship. Like, we triggered the fuck out of each other. But like, there was deep love there, and deep passion at first. And anyways, we broke up, and I remember I was the one that made that decision, and it kind of all flooded me and hit me at once. And when I couldn't unsee it. When I made that decision, I was like, oh shit, there is no hiding this anymore. Like, I have been lying to myself for too long, and like, now that the veil has lifted, like, I can't go back. And so I was at his house, and I broke up with him. We had just broken up, and like, we were both a mess, just crying, like, could not stop crying. And he lived about an hour away at that time from my house, and I did not know how I was going to get home. I started driving, and immediately just like my body just I feel like I did not give my body the space it needed to cry before I started driving. So I'm just driving on the interstate, hot mess, like tears streaming, and I immediately I started going into like the what ifs and the self-shame and guilt and like all of these lower things, and I was like, this is making it worse, this is making me want to cry even harder. And so I remembered like there was such a light, and I'm so grateful, because I do believe like it was one of my spirit guides being like, hey, gratitude, like, do a gratitude rampage. And if you don't know what a gratitude rampage is, it's basically a 1 to 5 minute thing where you just spew what you're grateful for. You spew and you keep going, and as you speak all of these things that you're grateful for, you start to raise your vibration very quickly and rapidly, and like you're feeling into it, and then like boom, you are kind of tapped into a higher vibration, and the gratitude almost comes in as like a janitor and like clears away the lower frequencies, and then gratitude pours into those spaces so the lower frequencies have no room to come back in. So I definitely see gratitude as like a spiritual janitor, which love. Thank you so much for all the cleaning that you do. But yeah, so I'm driving and I'm crying, and like I heard gratitude rampage, and I was like, okay, let's drop in. And so I, both hands on the wheel, and I am just like, I am so grateful for him. I am so grateful for the beauty of our relationship. I am so grateful to have loved someone so much. I am so grateful to have experienced all that we experienced together. I am so grateful for all the lessons learned. I am grateful for, even the things that hurt. I was saying, like, just my gratitude for them. And the grief opened up, but it opened up in a way where there was such a clear channel for it to pour through me. And there was no resistance there because the gratitude fully cleared the path and just allowed grief to stream through. But it wasn't a lower vibration of grief. It really was like one of the highest vibrations of grief I've ever experienced, because it was grieving through gratitude. When you pair gratitude with even anger, like, I am grateful to experience this anger, I'm grateful for this situation, I'm grateful to move my body right now when I'm feeling this way, like, we can really shift the experience we are having, the emotion that is occurring with us in the present moment, by bringing gratitude into it. And so I got home from that drive, and I think I went upstairs and just proceeded to let loose and cry as much as possible. But I am really grateful for gratitude in that moment, because that's what got me home. It got me home because it calmed me. It made me see the present moment, the bigger picture, that this was a beautiful relationship that came into my life exactly when it needed to. It ended exactly when it needed to, and it left me a better version of myself. Ultimately, it left me as a better friend. It left me as a better partner. It left me as a more evolved and expanded version of self. And what is there not to be grateful for from that experience? There's so much to be grateful for. And that's where gratitude really acts as a bridge. When you are feeling so down in the dumps, gratitude acts as a bridge so you can walk into your truest heart space. In one of the questions I ask in my course on how to guide, or a guide on how to breathe through the holidays, is how would your higher self respond? And playing with gratitude really brings that version of self into being, because yes, your higher self would want you to experience the grief fully, but do it from a lens of positivity behind it. Like, our higher self just moves through emotions with neutrality, which then fully just allows them to channel through, no stickiness, no resistance. And we come out the other side, in my opinion, grateful for every experience, happy for every experience, because we know it led to expansion. We know that it led to our soul having the exact experience it craved and moving into this higher evolved space, which I really, really love. And so there's an exercise that is very similar to this one, a little different, on how to shift your energy with gratitude. And what you can do is, when let's say you have a situation, dinner didn't turn out how you were going to plan, maybe your partner said they were going to be there at 5, some stuff happened, you had already started cooking, and they're going to get there at 8 now, and you're like pissed off. Or let's say, you're experiencing grief, or you're experiencing frustration, irritation. I want you to first bring your subtle awareness of where your mind went when that situation occurred. So just gently notice. Like, for instance, I'm trying to think of a situation recently. I can't think of anything. There's so much going on in my mind, and nothing at the same time. Love that. This week, guys, it's been a lot. There's a situation. Okay, so this week has been a lot. And so when I think of this week, I'm like, okay, my back hurts because I'm standing all the time at work. I stand when I get home. I'm moving constantly. I'm exhausted. And when I'm exhausted, I don't want to do anything, and I can kind of get sad. And so I'm gently just noticing like what emotions has sparked. And it's definitely sadness. There's a little bit of fear and worry of like, okay, we're here now. My shit has moved in. How is this gonna go living with 3 other dudes? One of them being my partner. Okay. You know? So there's that. So that's the first step. And the second step is to observe where you're feeling that emotion in your body. It's important to really tune into feeling because, during a gratitude rampage or even just a moment of gratitude, we can't fake it. The universe knows if we're faking it, okay? So you gotta be real. You gotta feel it. And when we feel it, there's something that shifts. It's easy to say something, but energy works off of feeling. And so actually tune in and feel the gratitude, and in this moment feel where you're holding that emotion in your body. So I'm going to take a moment and just kind of see where I'm feeling that. So I feel it in my solar plexus, which is interesting because that's our power center. And so I heard the thought when I felt into my body, will my light have space to shine here? Which is an interesting thing, and definitely it feels like an inner child speaking that's just a little scared, like, will I have my energy here, amongst 3 other people? Like, I haven't lived with this many people in a long time. And so yeah, or ever, actually. I don't think I've ever lived in a group of 4 before. So that's new. Yeah, so it definitely feeling it into my solar plexus. And then the next step with that is, what is this emotion telling me? Which I kind of got that. So tune in, find it in your body, and then ask, what is this emotion trying to tell me? What is this worry trying to tell me? For me, is my light going to have space to shine here? It's basically telling me to, what it feels like is to create the space for my light to shine. Create the space for my energy to be felt and resonated with. And don't just keep it in this small room. Make sure it is felt throughout the house, so I can be seen and it can intertwine with the other energies living here. And it's definitely showing me and telling me where that's affecting my energy on a physical level, because it showed up in the solar plexus. And so to me too, that's making sure that I eat really well right now for me. Like, that is coming through as well. Definitely, like, through all of these transitions, it's important that we're taking care of our body and our digestive tract. So that's an interesting message too. Anything can come through, really. Anything can come through. So trust what comes through and play with it. It gets to be fun. It gets to be easy. And so once we observe where that is happening in our body, we can then just kind of take a moment to process it. Process that emotion that's coming up. Sit with it. Maybe you start breathing white light into that area of your body, and then drop into gratitude. And this is just a more integrative way to play with the emotions that are occurring. So you could do this energy shift out and about. However, if you did want to take more time with it, maybe do it in a quiet space and really leave like a good 30 minutes for you to just experience it fully, because this is a more integrative way to experience communication and energy shifting. And so yeah, breathe into that spot, and as you breathe into that spot, with the intention of speaking gratitudes for what you're feeling, for the experience that you had, for the situation that went down, you then open the energy in that spot, so then the emotion can flow through, and your body doesn't hold on to it. Your body's not clenching and gripping that emotion in that space anymore. So that's a really good way to quickly shift your energy. And the other way is that gratitude rampage that we talked about earlier. Drop into 1 to 5 minutes and just spit gratitudes. Feel it, don't fake it, and definitely allow the gratitude frequency to sit with you. There's a really nice exercise to do at the end of a gratitude rampage. Once you've been saying gratitudes for however long, go to say your next one and sit in the frequency of speaking gratitude, but don't actually say it. And then just hold that frequency of gratitude. Hold that frequency, allow it to kind of come over your body and feel into where it's showing up in your body. And just sit in that gratitude. And that is a huge energy shifter. Gratitude acts as a powerful transmuter. It really comes in and clears away, like I said, that janitor. It's a transmuter. It will immediately move your vibration, move your frequency into a different way. And just like with me, you know, in that breakup example, that story, I was able to transmute out of self-shame and guilt and worry and questioning and move into this state of just knowing that everything happened in divine timing, and knowing that the lessons learned in that relationship were beautiful. And it just shifted my mindset fully. And like we were talking about in the podcast last week about big transitions and big changes, gratitude's a great way to manifest. So if we can sit in the present moment and be grateful for all that we have, the universe is like, oh, they're grateful for everything in their life? Okay, let's give them more. Let's give them more to be grateful for. Whereas if we're constantly in the state of lack or scarcity, or we're in the state of needing something, needing and desiring so hard that we're gripping to that thing, focusing on what we don't have, we're going to constantly be reflected that reality of where we don't have it. So I invite you, if you are wanting to manifest, drop into the state of being grateful for all that you have. Set the intention that yes, you want to bring, like for instance, the boys' couch is kind of nasty right now, and so we are looking at getting a new one. And in that, I have set the intention that we are going to find a perfect leather couch with ease, and our price point, it's going to be lovely, so comfortable, and it's going to be great for the space. Now, that is spoken, that's done, I get to release it, and then I get to be grateful for the couch that I have presently. You know, we watched a movie last night on it. It was comfy, it held me. We sit on it every single night, and I'm so grateful that we have a beautiful couch. It fits perfectly in the space. And once the universe kind of feels that you're grateful in your present moment for what you experience and have, then it opens the door to receiving more. Another thing to do with lack and abundance, raise your hand if you have ever swiped your credit card and you're like, God damn it, like, that's so much money. I don't know how I'm gonna afford that. Like, I just spent so much on groceries, or I just spent so much on my car, and like, I'm giving this away and it's not gonna come back. Raise your hand. My hand is raised. If you have ever felt that way. And that doesn't feel good. Like, I literally saying all that, I feel it in my chest and I do not like that vibration. We're gonna say no to that. And we're gonna say yes to swiping our card and being like, I am so grateful to share this abundance. I am so grateful to spend my money knowing that it flows back to me with ease. I am so grateful to share my abundance with Target, or share my abundance with the local farmers this morning at the farmers market. I am so grateful that I get to eat those incredibly locally grown blue oyster mushrooms. Hell yeah. Those are gonna be amazing for my body. I am so grateful for the giant fennel bulb that I bought, and I get to cook with in soup this week, okay? Like, yes, I am grateful to spend money on locally grown organic items, and I know that my body and my well-being benefit from it. Do you see the frequency change there and how that feels? Like, my body is like lit. I am so excited to just share this beautiful food with my body and with my loved ones and my friends. Like, that feels good. And that keeps us open to experiencing more abundance, to experiencing more financial freedom. So those are little ways where you can implement gratitude. And shout out to Brielle, who was on the podcast few months ago talking about astrology. Love you, B. She mentioned recently how she incorporates gratitude into little like daily routines. Like, she states her daily money affirmation while she's brushing her teeth. And I was like, damn, queen, that is so fucking smart to just incorporate affirmations or your gratitudes in to like every morning I make celery juice. So while I'm washing the celery, I can just be spitting off gratitudes, and raising my vibration. When I'm driving, I do it a lot when I'm driving. It's a great space. Driving is like a liminal space, and liminal spaces can be used as portals, guys. Use your liminal space, your waiting time, as a portal. Period. Let's do it. Let's act on it. So when I'm driving, I'm like, when I step out of my car, I am the most aligned version of myself. I am the highest vibrational queen of abundance. I am my most creative self, and my power is lit. And then when I step out of the car, bitch, you better believe I'm in that frequency. I use it as a portal. So you can do that with gratitude as well. Let me see if we have anything else. I think I hit everything that I want to. Just remember that everything leads to expansion. So be grateful for it. Be grateful that you stubbed your toe. Somehow it leads to your expansion. Be grateful that you're late in traffic, because somehow Spirit's got y'all back, seeing from the high grounds like an eagle, and fucking flowing you into traffic because it's for your highest and best. You don't need to know why. You do not need to know why. You just need to know that it's leading to your expansion. And then you get to expand even further because you are open to expansion. You're open to the new possibilities, the limitless potential that takes you to your highest path. I think we're going to end there. I hope you enjoyed this podcast about gratitude. Again, if you want the more condensed version, go check out my YouTube. If you are wanting some help this holiday, go ahead and check out the course. And I hope you have an absolutely beautiful week. Remember the affirmation, I am grateful to be me, and maybe play in your life of where you can balance between work and rest, manifesting with gratitude and shifting your energy daily. Much love to you. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.